As local leaders continue to speak out on the border, negotiations over a Senate bill that would reform border security appear to have stalled.
But his political foes claim that it's his attempt to use the border crisis as a political advantage in the election. Fox 10's Lauren Clark joins us live in the control room with more. Lauren.
Well, Ellen and John, the numbers are officially out. The U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, they had over 300,000 stops at the U.S. border, or counters, I should say. This negotiation going on right now at the Senate, it's not a draft, it's just a proposal, and they're still in talks, but it would focus on two main issues: border security and aid to Ukraine. But right now, its future remains very uncertain.
It's really bad. It's the worst that any of us have seen.
Yavapai Sheriff and president of the Arizona Sheriff's Association, David Rhodes, says action on the border is far past due. For months in Arizona, politicians from both sides of the aisle have labeled the situation a crisis. But in Washington, weeks-long negotiations on a bipartisan bill in the Senate have seemingly stalled after former President Donald Trump suggesting on his social media site that Republicans were better off not making a deal.
President Trump has indicated to senators that he does not want us to solve the problem at the border. He wants to lay the blame for the border at Biden.
Something Republican Senator Mitt Romney criticized.
The idea that someone running for president would say, please hurt the country so I can blame my opponent and help my politics is a shocking development.
The bill has yet to be drafted, but reportedly on the table, systems that would make it easier to expel migrants and increasing the requirements to claim asylum in the U.S. Also at stake with the proposal, ensuring aid to Ukraine. In a letter to members, Republican Speaker of the House Mike Johnson warned the Senate that if rumors of the contents of the draft proposal are true, it would be dead on arrival. But many in the heart of negotiations, including Arizona Independent Senator Kyrsten Sinema, remain optimistic a deal will be met, stating we're close to clinching a deal between Republicans and Democrats on a bipartisan plan to secure our border, protect Arizona border communities, and ensure the fair and humane treatments of migrants. We're making good progress day by day. As those on the border, like Cochise County Sheriff Mark Daniels, demand some type of solution. And soon.
We have a federal government that should be working arm in arm to protect communities and Americans, and working along with sheriffs and mayors and governors. But what I don't see is that that's not happening. And until that recipe of common sense is applied, this is only going to get worse.
And we just recently got a statement from the White House and President Biden vowing to sign a bipartisan bill on the border if he gets one on his desk. Reporting live here in the control room, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
Lauren, thanks.